Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Tarians, I thought it would be nice to go ahead and get a video for you guys tonight. I thought I would do this one live so that we can hang out a little bit. So, happy Friday night, guys. The light. So good to see you, babe. All right. So, let me go ahead and take a little peek at this. What I'm going to take a look at is inspired by the fact that we see Big Ben behind me in this backdrop of London. I love this backdrop because we have like so many different inspirations, right? We have the telephone booth, we have the clock tower, or we have the bus to look at. But we're going to look at what is going on. What's the right time for something to happen in Taurus's life? What is the timing bringing in? And it says Page of Swords, and we're at the start line. So this could be a great time for Taurus to learn about something, pay attention to something, gain insights on something. This is, that card that we say, oh, this is kind of like the spy of the deck, or the person that is gathering information, learning about things, paying attention to things, taking a look at which direction they'd like to go in life. We have a Page of Cups upright as well. Two pages. Pages are the babies of the deck. They're the messengers of the deck. They're the first step forward. So it's time for a new beginning for Taurus, a step towards something that you notice that it's like turn the page in the book of life. Wherever Taurus is at, whatever chapter of their life they're in, whatever age they're at, doesn't matter. Everybody gets to have a new start. They get to learn something new. They get to change the next chapter that they're writing. They could write a new lover into their life. They could write a new adventure into their life. All of this gives Taurus all the power, and it says, Taurus, you get to pick whatever you want, babe. You get to have a new beginning here. Four of Swords is sideways. And this is kind of begging Taurus to take action, and doesn't mean Taurus isn't maybe still, sitting in a space of like peace and, like drawing toward them healing energy. But it says it's not just about thoughts. This is a time of action and emotion and, joyful energy as well. Yes, Taurus might still technically be healing, but now it's time for like dynamic healing. Ace of Wands. It's kind of begging Taurus to pay close attention to something Taurus has wanted. Hi, Tammy. Thank you for being here, baby. To see that Ace of Wands is like, that's the spark of huge excitement. That's the spark of creativity. If Tauruses want to go to Switzerland, go see the mountains. I'm sorry, this card just looks like Switzerland to me. It could also be, I've seen gorgeous landscapes in Canada, also just incredible mountainous regions. But it feels like Taurus, if they've got this idea of something that they've wanted to do, even if Taurus has had struggles, they've had trials, they've had tribulations, they've had things that bothered them, things that almost made them feel like, this is what my life is. I'm just trying to keep it together. I'm just trying to, get through the day, or I'm just trying to deal with stuff. This storyline says, no, Taurus, you're not just trying to get through the day. You get to actually change that mindset. Taurus deserves to have better. And it's right there at Taurus's fingertips. But it does start with their thoughts first and some action taking. And I know that all requires energy. And sometimes when we're really hurt over something and still healing, we don't have more energy to devote to activity. But this says, but this Taurus does. It is the right time. Taurus has done, like the rest and the self-nurturing and the healing that they needed to do in the restful energy. They have accomplished a lot of that, and they might not have recognized it yet, but Taurus has quite a surge of creativity and passion and desire to like really get back to like pursuing things that they love. I think that this is a Taurus who went through a very heavy time where it was all they could do to just deal with pain and hurt that they had experienced and, keep pushing themselves to get out of bed and keep functioning. And I mean, like, I think that's very relatable. I think we've all been there. I think every human has had chapters of their life where it's like, I was literally sleepwalking through my life because I was in so much, heartbreak or something, and then bit by bit, we start to realize that we're actually feeling better, but we might still be on like a little bit of a groundhog day where every day is just the same. And then finally, one day we start to recognize, actually, I'm taking pleasure in my life again. I've healed a lot. My heart has healed a lot. Some of the losses feel less painful, and I'm actually starting to laugh a little again, and I'm actually getting inspired to do stuff, and I'm finding my creativity again. And that's what this says is Taurus has a spark coming back to them. There's probably an idea, some kind of really fun thought process is popping into Taurus's mind right about now. And it's like, grab that, grab a hold of that great idea that you've got, Taurus. And it keeps saying to like take action, go out and do the things that Taurus would love to do. And this could be simple. This could be, Taurus is like, wow, day after day for like 4 months, I was just going home and going to sleep, get up in the morning, go to work, then come home, go to sleep. Now, you know what I feel like going for a walk? You know what I feel like going to the gym? You know what I feel like, adding little things into my life? I feel like I have a passion to participate in my life again. I will also say, when we get excited about our life, when we get our energy back up the way we see Taurus, that tends to be the time when we start to be creative again and our real personality shines through and we start to meet other people and our life becomes full again. And I do think that there may be a Pisces that Taurus is supposed to meet. There could be somebody really important on the horizon. By the way, this person could have like a whole shoulder tattoo. Page of Coins in the reverse. I get it. Taurus is like, I'm not going out there trying to go meet somebody with a tattoo. I am not out there on the prowl for some hottie. Okay, fair enough. But I will still say that the byproduct of pursuing things in our life that give us joy is that sometimes we bump into other people that maybe have similar interests, similar hobbies. We start going to the gym. We start, loving like whatever. This is somebody who's like on the like rings, almost more like a gymnastics type of workout. And it's like, we start taking a class and, whatever, tumbling or some kind of gymnastics. And it's just fun and it's exciting. But then we start to build community around us and we meet people, even though that wasn't the goal. That's the byproduct of it. When we pursue things that we love, we meet like-minded people. We find community. And I do think that Taurus is there. This is good. This is like, it's the right time for like an unsuspecting Taurus to start having friends and community around them again. Their time of isolation and silence is coming to a close, and their time of like filling their life with joy is coming back. I will say this. Taurus has done a lot of work on themselves, right? Taurus is starting to come back to life, starting to blossom, starting to have some fun now. I will say somebody else, and this could be an individual that had to go into their own silent mode and do some work on themselves. You notice how Taurus has 2 new people, or I'll just say 2 people around them on this 3 of Pentacles. I do not think that Taurus has heard the last of possibly a person that they were hurting over. As Taurus has done some work and some healing on themselves, this says so too has another person, possibly a fellow earth sign. This could be somebody that Taurus dealt with in the past. This could be somebody that lives in a different city than Taurus or lives on the outskirts of a city. This could be somebody that found a way to like withdraw as well. Maybe they work in a city, but then as soon as they would get home from work, they'd run off into the country and they would go outside and do whatever metal work. They would, go out into the garage and, put together an engine. They would do things while they were kind of like Taurus in that 4 of Swords. This person has been working on things as well. I do feel like if Taurus is resilient and has been healing themselves and has been, coming back to a happier place, I don't think Taurus is the only one who's been doing this. Taurus is, I think, going to meet new people for sure as they start to, choose to do things that are fun and exciting that they're interested in. But I do see more than one person and on Taurus's horizon, and we can't ignore the fact that we've got an 8 of Coins. Tell me about them. The Tower. They could be an Aries. They could be someone that Taurus dealt with in the past, and that somebody could have gone through their own collapse of ego. They could have, really worked on their personality. I do feel like this is like a past person, a lover, somebody that Taurus was wounded over, and they've been doing some healing themselves. If Taurus is going to meet this person again later on, it'll be under better circumstances for sure. It doesn't mean that they're going to be more than friends with this person. It doesn't mean that, like, oh, wow, Taurus has to take back some ex. But I will say this is somebody Taurus would never expect that they were going to hear from again with the moon. Tell me about the other person standing here on the card. all of this feels like Taurus's comeback story, but what's interesting is it's not just their comeback story. It's the fact that, over time, all characters can grow and change their rhythm of life and heal and kind of like reclaim their identity again. Taurus is doing it, so too has somebody from their past. And now, whomever this other character is, who I'm guessing maybe that Pisces character that we saw, that hanged man in the reverse, someone that Taurus will meet, like I say, maybe at the gym, maybe when they're out and about. This is a new person. Their story is how interesting. They too have had to heal themselves. Nine of Wands. That's the Wounded Warrior card. They've met Taurus and the Six of Swords. They're meeting Taurus. Maybe they're at the gym for the same reason. They too have been working on healing, getting over things. So they could be like a companion in the collective that is out there doing similar things that Taurus is doing, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm actually at the gym a lot because I'm working through my stress. I'm healing too. Maybe that's how Taurus winds up meeting this person. It's like, yeah, I was, man, for 4 months, I didn't want to go anywhere. I was just brokenhearted and I was healing. And now I'm here at the gym and I'm getting to know there's other people doing the exact same thing. Sometimes we don't just do things to get healthy. Sometimes we do things to help us, like shed stress or to reclaim our identity and stuff. And I just feel like all three of these characters, you see the commonality here, the thing that they all share is that every character has had to go through something difficult and then kind of reinvent themselves. And we see that for Taurus, we see that for this new person, and we see this for the person of the past. I mean, that actually is kind of like, it makes sense because that's what we humans do, right? We humans are not that different from each other. We, sometimes we think we're doing our best and then we make some wrong turns and then everything crashes down around our ears. And for a while, everything feels like it's really scary or it's really upsetting. And then slowly but surely we start to heal because we are resilient, and then we gain our footing again and we stand back up and we dust off and we start to kind of enjoy our lives again. And then we realize one day that things are okay. It took me a while to get here, but you know what? I'm okay again. And I just feel like it's interesting to see all three characters in this story have known that exact same cycle, and they're all kind of running on the same timeline. We have the Nurturer of Cups sideways. There's a lot of love and compassion that is being shared between all three people or for each other. I almost think that, I don't know if Taurus is going to, give an ex a second chance, but I will say we've got that Nine of Swords just for characters to understand. We all have been very stressed out. We all know what it feels like, and every person needs to feel supported and loved. That alone is going to make, all of this sense of peace that all three characters have found, that has been hard fought peace, right? They had to work very hard. Every single character here has had to work hard to regain stability. And I think compassion also comes with this, and the understanding that at different times we're doing the best we can and still things get all fouled up. And just, I don't know, this is like, there's no harsh judgment from Taurus to that person of their past, from Taurus to this new person. All of this is just like this incredible sense of understanding that it's hard to be a human. It's hard to be an adult. We do the best we can. There's a lot of forgiveness here. This Liberation card is actually the Judgment card in any other deck. We see Taurus is totally like giving forgiveness to an ex. They're also like totally not judging themselves for whatever, however things impacted them. And they're kind of feeling reborn and rebirthed. I think that this Taurus could definitely find themselves being friends with an ex. Maybe not taking this person back, but being friends with them. And I could also see Taurus starting a new romance with somebody, or just being friends with the new somebody as well, and saying, we'll see how things go. I feel healed, and I feel really like I can understand that sometimes we all get overwhelmed. I don't see any of this as being a story where anybody was like trying to cause each other grief. And I think Taurus totally understands that. I know there's just this huge sense of peace and calm knowing that everything takes time. We've got this Knight of Swords in the reverse. Look, we humans have a good long life, so we can afford, to take the time to heal, and we can give other people the time to heal. And not everything has to go so fast. When we get to a place of peace, like, definitely let's protect our peace. But whatever a relationship could still morph into, everybody's healing in this story, right? This is the time for, like, an entire collective of individuals to heal old wounds that maybe were impacting their lives and making relationships hard. And as everybody heals, there's a real sense of peace and, like, kind of a Zen vibe to this story. And now we'll see. I don't know who might end up a lover for Taurus. And Taurus isn't in a rush to find out. But I do think they're going to be on good terms with an ex. And I think they're going to be on good terms with a new person. And I think over time, Taurus will figure out what each person means to them and how they might, impact Taurus's life. Six of Swords, Taurus could also wind up saying, they were both friends, but neither will be lovers. There's, somebody else up ahead for me. I just feel like each person somehow is going to play a role in, like, showing Taurus, like, I'm moving forward too. I'm healing too. Nobody's judging each other for needing to heal, and for all of us trying to get to the rainbow, trying to get to a sense of calm and peace. I really like this one because it's not so much that we're looking at, okay, who's in a romance. We're looking at how do characters deal with life stresses, recalibrate themselves, and get to the point where then they could start thinking about a romance again. And I think it's very much like as the world turns. maybe this feels a little bit like a soap opera. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's much more realistic that we gain more wisdom and we go, you know what? We all struggle to find peace and keep our peace. We all have our meltdowns. We all sometimes mess up relationships, or we all get triggered, and we all are trying to just figure stuff out. None of us have been here before that we can remember. Maybe those fleeting moments of deja vu. I mean, maybe some people totally remember if they had a past life or something, but is it enough to totally guide us so that we never make a mistake in this life? I would argue no. I've never met anybody who felt like they've never made a mistake in their life because they already had, like, a blueprint for how to make it be perfect this lifetime. I think this is such a graceful story because it shows every person, especially on Earth, thankfully we all get second chances. We all get more opportunities. We can, complete cycles and start new cycles. Some people cycle back into our life, but as in new relationships, and relationships change over time. Lovers become friends, friends become lovers, enemies can become friends, enemies can be friends and then lovers. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's the opposite as well. Lovers become enemies. But it does say things cycle through, lessons cycle through, we gain wisdom. And I kind of just feel like this is an incomplete cycle right now. We don't see who Taurus is ending up with. We kind of see Taurus may have a choice of two potential lovers. We may have a relationship that could come back together. But I think time needs to elapse before Taurus has to make any other, like, new decisions. The biggest thing here is peace. There's such a wonderful sense of peace, healing, acceptance. I would say this is probably our most important card, this liberation card for Taurus. I don't see Taurus fighting with anybody in this story. I don't see them mad at an ex. I don't see them mad at themselves. I don't see them, gnashing their teeth and wondering what's going to happen with this new potential lover. I see Taurus just, like, completely content while still participating in their own life and pursuing things that they care about. Relationships or romantic relationships are not the number one thing for Taurus. Really living a good life is the number one thing. Having people in our life that we have, peace with, and then figuring out slowly if they could be more than just friends. That seems to be where Taurus is at. And actually, I think that's so perfect for right now. Let's turn to the universe for just one message, though, and say, does the universe have any, particular, we'll just say extra advice, maybe. Hi, baby. Come to this side, love. No, come to mommy's left. Come here. No, you can't come to the right. You can't fit in there. You're too chubby. We have got the Hermit. The universe is like, listen to the true North Star. And this is like the wounded healer. This is also the card of shamanism. Um, and I feel like understanding that all living things have their own frequency, tapping into it, working with that flow, honoring that flow, and at the same time, particularly honoring our own journey to healing and listening to where we want to be. I think Taurus is not ready to make a decision about a new lover in this story. And that's totally okay. I think Taurus will, when they're darn good and ready, they absolutely will have a lover in their life. But right now, there's a reason Taurus doesn't. Even though they may be about to deal with an ex and somebody new, we still don't see Taurus leaping into a romance with anyone. And the universe is like, that's because Taurus is in control of when they're ready and what they're ready for. Taurus will decide that for themselves. I know, I just really like that because this is so not a high pressure story, and we don't oftentimes get those. You guys, thanks so much for being here. Sweet, thanks for being here. Oh my God, I haven't heard John Zakata in forever. Oh, sweet, thanks for bringing up John Zakata. Hey, V, we're all trying to get to know ourselves, aren't we? It's a good point. SW, hey, hey. Travis Rhodes. Moon Pony, awesome to see you. Angelica Isabel, hi, sweetheart. Morg's Machine, my pleasure, love. Thank you for hanging with me tonight. And again, Tammy Johnson, thank you. And the light, thanks so much for being here, you guys. Really appreciate you. All right, everybody. I will see you guys. We'll still do a video that'll come out at midnight for the today's topic. So, all right. Bye for right now. Take care.